replaced, and eye operations, and computer's been down. But I miss you. Uh, so let's go over the news. And again, if I don't make my opinion clear, it's I want I don't want to pass off my opinion as news. And by the way, a picture of me spinning rope, that's over London Bridge in southwestern Arizona, Lake Havaschal. I did that some years ago. My wife took the picture from under the stairwell. Well, I call it fanni-gate, and go to my blog site. Cowboy, I got a new one now, cowboyronnews.blog, cowboyronnews.blog. I call it fanni-gate. But Fannie Willis, she's off the witness stand, and she feels like she's going to keep her job. Now, this is my opinion. If she keeps that job, then the judge is as crooked as President Biden. They all compile together to try to get their 15 minutes of fame to keep the president President Trump from running for election. Well, it's not President Trump's election. It decide who's going to stay and who's going to go. The other thing, obviously, she's not particularly bright. And I think when she gets indicted, well, she's indicted on Monday. It'll be because she's an African-American black person. She gets indicted on Tuesday. It'll be because she's a woman. She gets indicted on Wednesday. It'll be because she's black and a woman. Okay, now National Border Patrol Brandon Judd met with President Trump. He didn't go with the lightweight. Biden is down there getting his photo op. And they just laying it out. Ask yourself this. If there was no border crisis and this was all right-wing media against President Trump, and I'll admit that the conservative news is not his best pal, but they could send liberal news outdoes the private news by 7 to 3. So why not go down to some of the other stations? There's plenty of entries in the United States and show how everything is going along really good, and GOP and us conservatives don't have it right. I'm not going to do it because the border is being overrun. People are being killed, and that's just the ones that make the national news. How about the people who are dying from these drugs? And more importantly, how about, excuse me, when you have a court case, one of the things they look at is harm and remedy. How about illegal, not illegal, but people who are trying to immigrate the proper way? They got in line. They're waiting their turn. You're going to let these people get in front of them? I think not. When President Trump gets in, they're going to go back. And also, if they profited from coming into the United States, then some of their money should go towards paying the cost of getting rid of them. I don't want to break them completely. But right is right. It's not right that we pay for their crimes. Oh, yeah, there's another one. If there was spin, the White House would be champs. We're now referring to the illegal immigrants as newcomers. That's BS. They're lawbreakers. They're illegals. Some of them, I'm sure they got good intentions. They want to come to the land of milk and honey. Isn't it amazing? Everybody around the world knows what we have to offer. The only people that don't know that is Biden and the liberal Democrats. They're not newcomers. They're lawbreakers. They're illegals. I hate these fancy words we give people. You go to jail, you're a prisoner. You're not an inmate. If you're a guard, I guess correctional officer is okay, but really your guard. Let's see what else I got. I can't hardly read my writing. My printer wouldn't work. Now, Idaho went to execute a man that killed, I think, 3 people. He's 72 years old, and for some reason, they couldn't get it into his vein, and they had to postpone the execution. On that, I'm not a big fan of killing people that's in their 70s and 80s, even though they've done bad and they deserve to perhaps die. But think about it. The last 30 days, time is getting slower and slower. That last night, probably couldn't sleep. So in his mind, he was executed. So I think perhaps the thing to be is to commute it to life imprisonment without parole. Let's see. Oh yeah, President Biden had a physical day. Now this don't come as earth-shattering news, shaking news. They didn't do a Codicin test on him. Now I don't want to pile in on a person. I'm 80 myself, but everybody goes down as they get older, and he's really just a pawn, I believe. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the guy's got all of his faculties, and I don't wish him bad luck. I didn't vote for him. I would never vote for him. I don't think they make enough alcohol to get me drunk enough to vote for him. But at a certain point in time, I think the American people have a right to know what they're voting for. Now in Gaza, 100 people was reportedly killed from, they think it was a relief worker, somehow got in there and shot them up. I don't know who did it, but these apparently were innocent civilians. And like I always say, violence is wrong unless it's to defend yourself. Hey, here's something good. Really, look at this. Is going to shake up the political landscape. RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, the son of the late Senator Kennedy, who was unfortunately lost his life early from assassination. He's on the Hawaiian ballot now. You know, when he talks, he makes good sense. Well, I know when it comes to the environment, he's pretty liberal, but and some of the political pundits feel that he'll take votes away from Biden more than Trump. I haven't figured that one out, and that's above my pay grade, but when I figure it out, I'll let you know. Now, we have a senator, as you know, when you have the State of the Union, you have a rebuttal. Now, personally, I don't like the rebuttal the same night. You think about it, man, woman, go to work by the time they get the kids ready, drive 45 minutes to an hour, drive to come home, have to maybe stop and get some groceries or something. They put 14 hours in today. So can you really retain all that? An hour and a half speech from the president, and then you're going to listen to rebuttal. Now, I think the rebuttal should be done the next night after a person had a chance to observe things. Now, if this was basketball, it would be good because what you're doing is you're blocking your opponent, the president in this case, from scoring points. But our election is a lot more than points. Hold on one second here. I got a problem with the light. Okay. Time out. I don't know, Sean Handy don't ever have any of these problems. So I think we'd be better off to do the rebuttal a night or two later. Let the commentators turn it around. Let us think about it. It's not show business. It's not a football game. It's serious. And if it's not serious, we shouldn't be watching it. But anyway, Senator Kate Britt, she's going to deliver the rebuttal. And no matter which night they do it, she will instantly be a rising star in the Republican Party. I don't know whether they're going to run her for vice president. My personal choice for vice president is the lady governor in South Dakota. And I've been to South Dakota many times. It's a great tourist place. Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horses Monument. And so it's just a wonderful place, Deadwood. The head of Freedom vows to fight this new budget deal. It's a temporary stopgap and, go for a shutdown. During President Reagan's tenure, he had many shutdowns. Now, by most part, the government employees will get their money, so they're getting extended vacation. Republicans have been reluctant to do this because once they did it, it backfired. But now I think is the day to fight the good fight. We got to cut down the spending. We got to get this border under control. If I had my way, we would no more 4,000 page bills. We do the border, give plenty of time to look at it, protect our border before we start protecting other people's borders. Although it was Ukraine, I think it's better that we say no to the Russians now than have to put our boys and girls out there. Now, the president of Russia, Puden, I'm not saying it correctly, learning how to work with his teeth is difficult, but he's identified 14 locations that's in his crosshairs, the United States. Whether it's my city or your city, Washington, D.C., the Pentagon would probably be one. We have some underground Pentagons around the country. But when you start talking about nuclear bombs, there's no such thing as a serious threat. You're talking about the destruction of what, maybe 50, 100 billion people, maybe the destruction of mankind as we know it. So he's a bad player, and you never know. I mean, supposing the man had an incurable disease and thought it'd be nice to take the rest of the world with him to the happy hunting ground. Also, the fire in Texas Panhandle, and that's I landed my airplane after that's a bunch of wide open spaces, 1.1 million acres so far. That's a lot of real estate, but it is the largest wildfire in the history of Texas. I think I got a couple more things here. Yeah, the New York Attorney General, the one that's persecuting Donald Trump, has now went after, I think it's a meat packing plant, saying that they got carbon footprints. Now, you have to think about it. Is she going to get another judge where they don't get a jury trial? The judge accesses them enough money to put them out of business. And she's obviously just sucking up with the Trump vote and along with this carbon footprint nonsense to the tree-hugging termites. That's probably going to be her base for support when she runs for higher office. Oh, yeah. Trump's golden shoes. Have you looked at it? I got it on my blog site, cowboyronnews.blog. And he sold out, I think, 5,000 pair. Now, I'm sure that he kept a couple pair for himself. So in 10 years, people pay what? $50 million for this and $50 million for that. So Trump is making a few dollars here. Oh, yeah, and also on my Facebook account, I have under a group. I started a group. We only got about 75 people. We're going for quality, not quantity. It's called Taking Back America, the GOP way. Now, what I'd like you to do is write in ideas how we can get the vote out. I'll give you a couple of good examples. When I drove the tractor trailer across the country in 2016, people had got out and got to the old billboard signs. A couple of cases of beer, 5, 6 of good old boys, and they did vote Trump and Pence signs. And they looked good, except they weren't glossy. That's how I could tell they went all the way from It seemed like hundreds of them, but it went all the way from, I think, Chicago and then down 5 all the way into LA. Other things you can do if you want to get the vote out, go look at the voter registration. It will show you. You can look at it like maybe you'll make up an address, uh, house address, 201 Make Believe Avenue, and you can see how many Republican voters in there. So if you're pounding the beat and you just got more people than you can possibly reach, you can identify the ones where you're talking to at least 3 or 4 people at one time. Uh, any ideas you have? I personally in favor of going uh, building a base from like the school boards, anything, dog catchers, uh, aldermen of a small town of 500,000. It gives them a chance to introduce yourselves to us. We find a new rising star. Let's see, we went 16 minutes on this. I will be back with you again and get this computer working a little better. I really like talking to you. I like to hear your ideas. We could use a few more subscribers, and that will help out a little bit. So next time, I hope you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Good night.